So this will be a little bit meandering piece because originally I wanted to, which I'm still going to do, give a shout out to Good. Also, and again, I want to be careful to how to frame this. I'm not saying quote feel sorry for him, but Knife Hoarder did some recent videos becoming more public about his medical issues. Again, he's not asking for money, so I want to be careful how to frame it. He's not saying, and he's very clear that he is in trouble, right? He's going to have some surgeries. He's been really trying to change his lifestyle. I don't know, maybe I'm over worrying. That's just how I tend to do things. And he has been in a lot of pain, but he's been pushing through it. And the original idea was to concentrate on him as well as basically poke the bear with the Scoville brothers and their declining grift, which is declining. They are now at 25,000.5 people or subscribers on the lifeboat proper. So I would guesstimate at this point they've lost at least, if not more, 3,000 subscribers. And the audacity of them is insane. But let me just finish off with Knife Hoarder and give some good thoughts and prayers. And I want to spread the love around. There's a lot of people that have been exposing Scoville through clear media, and there's a lot of people with Knife Hoarder. I don't really know these people too well, so I want to be clear and honest there, like Oculi, so on and so forth. I just tuned in. I know I've seen a few of those videos with Tony. Just a lot of people doing good work there. So I want to be careful because Goot got monetization recently. So please try to give his video some love. He does get pretty decent views, but every little bit counts. And also because his stuff is way more spicy, way more blunt than I am, YouTube does punish people. Even if it's true, YouTube is a little weird with that. So hopefully he's getting at least a few bills, getting some good money from it. So please help him out. Knife Horde, as far as I know, is not monetized. I do think you can do super chats and do donations, but again, I'm still learning how YouTube works. I assumed if you can't get monetization, you can't get super chats, but there are different levels now. They keep changing the rules. But if you can send them any help whatsoever, if you can just send some good thoughts over there and give the video traction, so on and so forth. I rarely try to endorse any channels because I'm kind of like the black skunk of SPTV, so I don't think people want me to endorse them. I think that would just cause more problems for them. But insofar as you think my endorsement counts, yeah, Knife Hoarder's videos. Again, I don't always agree with the style or the tone. I'm a little bit more kind and gentle. But listen, you have to realize that for years and years, they were lying about Goot, Knife Hoarder, and that community. They were really slandering, insulting, and trying to echo chamber and really fool people. So there's going to be a lot of anger, which I think is earned. And let me not replicate Knife Hoarder's video. It was very touching. The basic gist is he has some heart problems, and he is very straightforward. He was an addict for many years. He's been clean for many years, but he's clear he did mess with drugs, and his diet was terrible. I guess due to the nature of his work, the things that were available were fast food. I've been there. I've done a lot of overnight work sometimes, and the only thing available is like really early morning. The only thing you can go to is fast food or 7-Eleven or convenience store. I will say though, things are getting better. If you go to the local Wawas now, they do have a lot of quote healthy food, but it is what it is. He ate badly, and it's catching up to him. He is changing his diet. He's getting better, but yeah, he's in a bad state. But he does own up to, yeah, I did do a lot of bad things with his body and his health, but he is getting better. So hopefully, he and his family will pull through. So let me now get to the Scovilles and their grift, and this will be more generalized, and it's a little confusing. So Calhoun, who is one of their cohorts, I want to be very clear. As far as we know, Calhoun was not directly involved with the Scoville scam directly. So what are we talking about? What the things that he admitted to? Let's just go with that. He admitted to ripping off several women, apparently mentally disturbed women, and women who have a lot of physical mental issues, for tens of thousands of dollars. And collectively, it's hard to tell. It's like 20, 30, 40. It's a lot of money. That's a lot of money took from them. And he was very clear he doesn't really care about them. He's manipulating them. And moreover, he seemed to be scamming his latest ex-girlfriend, Reese. And we will get back to Reese because even though she's lost some support, lost some subscribers, it is nowhere close to the Scoville brothers. So she has not really paid the price for her own nefarious activities. And check out Knife Hoarder's videos on her. They are really hilarious and very on point. Again, I think they're a little too brutal sometimes, but yeah, she's not telling the whole truth. In fact, the reason she even exposed Scoville is frankly really weak. It's because she thought romantically he was cheating on her. The actual fraud, stealing, lying, as well as his other crimes, she didn't care about that. It's the fact that she felt betrayed romantically. So there we are. Anyway, so it seemed Calhoun was promising or telling the audience as a fact that Scoville was going to take a very long vacation. Don't expect him back. He's not going to do any lives. And wouldn't you know, a little time later, he's back. So he did a really short video. And I want to be clear, I'm not doing a commentary on the longer videos because I want to take time to go through them. Again, at this point, are these lives? Are they pre-recorded? It's all very weird and suspicious because the problem is, when the scandal broke and he got exposed, they still did content, but it's a bit of a trick. So what they did is they just wrapped up their old content, edited it, and just put it out there. So you're like, is this old or is this new? If you did not follow the lifeboat, you would be totally tricked saying, why are you saying all these bad things about Scoville? He's not hiding. He's just put out these new videos. They're not new videos. They're from the older archive. So they're just pulling a lot of tricks and scams. And, I don't think they're changing their ways. But apparently, good faith, he has come back and he's exposing himself to questions in the lives. And I didn't notice this. He actually did a video on, quote, drama, presumably responding to his critics. Well, I don't know what to say, but I'm just going to go with one thread that he put out in one of these videos, and it was really offensive about, hey, who knows the truth? I guarantee you I don't know the truth. I guarantee you don't know the truth. Well, I guarantee you that is what a really stupid, ignorant person says. Now, if you mean like the actual physical universe, no, we do have something approximating the truth. Now, we need to learn a lot more. That is true, but if you study patiently basic physics and move on to quantum physics, you will get a very basic picture. I'm going to really be radically reductive here and say, well, what is the universe? Energy fields. If you ask me, well, what is the world? What is energy fields? There's now a pretty strong consensus that that's what basic reality is. It is energy. It is energy fields. What you study in physics is energy. So, no, we do know the basic truth of the universe. What we do with it, well, that's up to you. Now, in terms of more lesser human controversy, like, say, who killed JFK, that's true. We're going to be debating that for a long time. However, we have plausible candidates like, take Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny did not kill JFK. Super Mario did not kill JFK. So we can have probabilities here, and we have to be careful. Like, my money would now be on the CIA. I think that's where the evidence leads. Again, I don't even care about the JFK thing. I really, really don't. However, I have tried to look out for it because I do serious research on conspiracy theory. And the consensus seems to be the CIA. It's probably Allen Dulles and the Dulles brothers. That seems to be where the evidence has converged to. That's who killed JFK. So if we ever like, who killed him? It's probably the Dulles brothers. Whether they were really working with Lee Harvey Oswald, that I cannot say. There's still competing theories with him, whether he was working with Castro or Soviet Union, whether he really was like officially working with them. I'm skeptical, but there are theories. So again, will we ever know the whole truth? Probably not. We are getting more and more information. And one good thing about the Trump administration apparently is they're going to allow much more secret documents into the public. So that's good. But yeah, it's a continuing journey. However, doing this fake pseudo skepticism, like, who knows the truth? Who knows the truth? Well, I'm going to have to be pretty blunt here. Almost everything Knife Hoarder has said has checked out. Again, I still have some doubts about a few allegations. That's me being careful. But I've never known him to put out a knowing lie about Scoville at all. A few exaggerations, but the basic gist is, was Scoville guilty of assaulting a young girl? Apparently so. Was he guilty after he left jail of continuing to take drugs, even while running a recovery channel? Yes. Apparently he is still addicted. He is still taking drugs, even though he's promoting recovery on his channel. So on and so forth. It seems that these things have been proven. Do we have absolute metaphysical proof? No. But do we have a high probability the truth is told? Yes. So I find it a little offensive that Scoville is trying to say, like, well, we're all searching for the truth here. That's true. That's true. But I think we can classify some people as way more honest and some people as way less honest, right? Again, we'll never know for sure. I mean, for all I know, Knife Hoarder is an alien, right? He's a shape-shifting alien from Vulcan or whatever. We can never have absolute metaphysical certainty. That's the world we live in. But I think overall, we can trust Knife Hoarder when he talks about Scoville. When Scoville talks about Scoville, you got to be very skeptical. Almost everything he says is a lie or a misrepresentation, and it's systematic. It's not just, oh, he lies about this or that, which we all do, like little white lies, or you're just trying to be polite, or the whole truth would be too boring or too much details. Like, okay, I'm going to simplify. That maybe do damage to the truth. Like, that's normal. We all have scandals or mistakes. And it's like, okay, well, this wasn't the exact truth. No, that's not what we're talking about, right? Let's just go with one of his crimes, that he hurt an underage woman, right? It's a girl. And by the way, it even gets more crazy and scandalous because it wasn't even the assault. He got put in jail because he kept harassing the victim. That's what got him in trouble. It's like he did the crime. The police didn't put him away for that. It's because he kept harassing and stalking the victim. That's why they finally put him in jail. So it's like, it's all kinds of scandals. And then when he has to fess up to it, he says, oh, I had statutory. It was just young love. What does that make me? I'm just a young lover. No, no, no. That is not what happened. And again, we got to be protective of privacy and the victims, but I'm not going to lie. I hope the victim does eventually come out and speaks and says, yes, this is what really happened. It was not statutory. That is not what he went in prison for. That is not what he went in prison for. We've double checked the court documents. If he has counter evidence, he can produce that. He's a party of the case. He was there in court. This was even reported in the local news. Goot found some articles there. Like, what are you talking about? It's not statutory. That is radically misrepresenting things. Radically misrepresenting. So they say, we're all searching for the truth. What is the truth? Well, yeah, what is the truth is a serious, deep question. I doubt we ever will get the truth in capital T10. That's true. We're all cognitively limited. But some people are being cognitively limited in a radically false sense. And others are at least trying to be truthful. We may fail, but we're trying. So from what I can see, Knife Hoarder is trying to be truthful. Scoville barely ever tries, in my humble opinion.